Oh,
Dude, I was let's
fantastic.
talk about the Curtis Blades fight first and Almeida. Almeida's a beast. I don't understand. Explain to me, as a heavyweight, he went in, grabbed that single, stayed on his knees, and just stayed there. Was he did he think he could pull him out like he'd been doing?
No, he has no striking. What else is he going to do?
No, I'm saying, why did he
That's all he
stay
can
there?
do.
Why did he stay there with his hands locked around and got hammer fisted
Sometimes
like that?
it works. Sometimes it works for him, but now he's fighting the upper echelon guys.
He was dragging him around the mat for the first.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because Curtis Blades, no punk,
I
two-time
know.
national champ.
I know.
And he was dragging him around. I was like, oh, Curtis might be in trouble here. And then he realized Almeida can only grapple. You're screwed.
Strike.
You're screwed. That's his ceiling. That's how
his
this
ceiling.
goes. He'll always be fun to watch. You're never touching the gold.
No.
Oh, you can't strike. It's 2024.
It's not gonna work.
No, hang around. Hang around.
You're not gonna shoot
You'll
double
choke
legs.
out some guys, 10 through 15 or higher. You choke them out. But when it gets to the nitty gritty, you get knocked out. Now you're going to rip off about 3 wins and choke some guys out. Then you're like, all right, let's see how he does against insert name who can strike and grapple. You're fucked.
You fucked.
All good. Right?
Did you?
Dollar goes a long way in Brazil. It's all good.
All good. Yeah. Looks good in shorts. Looks good in shorts.
Great looking man.
Sure. But
when you can't strike, oh, you're fucked. You're just fucked. At the highest level, you're fucked.
yeah. Yep. All right.
I like the whole card.
Yeah. Well, so
Did you like Michael Venom Page?
Yeah, let's get to Petr Yan and Song Yadong. I was very happy to see Petr Yan win that.
A little hesitant in the
Love
first
him.
round.
Yep.
Had PTSD from Marab, just ragdolling him 50 times.
So good, though.
Glad he got the win.
Yeah,
and then
good
JDM
win.
looked fantastic. Huge win for JDM over Gilbert Burns.
That guy. Now he's great. He's in a very stacked division of. It's going to be Leon Edwards. He tries that. It's going to be very different.
Try what?
JDM.
Oh, his boxing so much better than Leon Edwards.
He's got to deal with the kicking and everything else. You think he beats Leon Edwards?
Great fight. This ain't one of those things where it's like, oh, good luck. I mean, that'd be a tough night in the office.
He can
for
box.
him.
He's
box his ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
he's a huge prospect.
Huge.
He was even.
Is he a little small for the weight class?
No, fuck no. He was on like the Ian Gary wave where everyone's like, he's the next guy.
Yeah.
Then his last 2 fights weren't great.
Yeah.
Knocked the doors off anything, but he still won.
Right.
And then they give him Gilbert Burns and boom, now he's back. So it's like Ian Gary, Sean Brady,
what happens
Shavkat.
what happens with him and Ian Gary?
Great fight. I don't know. Great fucking fight. I don't think they're going to kill off the 2 young lions. I would do Ian Gary versus Michael Venom Page.
Fuck, that's a oof.
Take my money.
Oof.
I think
My money.
I think Ian knocks him out.
You do? Mm-hmm. Because Venom Page's hands are down. He comes
No.
in.
That's. I mean,
In and out.
Michael's. You see how low his hands are? He's never been knocked out.
Yes, that style. When you're that fast and that athletic, that'll work. I think if you lose just a step, you're going to get
in trouble.
Yeah. You're dancing on that edge.
He also has 300 fights with his hands down.
God,
Never been
he's
knocked out.
Phenomenal. He's only lost, I think, once to Douglas Lima, right?
Twice. Anytime he's faced like a grappler, that's why the UFC has to be careful who they match him up with.
Yeah,
he's a fun character.
Yeah.
Can he be champ? It's tough because guys at the top, like if they want him to fight Ian Gary, and let's say he beats Ian Gary, and then go straight to Leon Edwards, okay, he could if they want him to, he could be champ.
Yeah.
But he has to leapfrog the grapplers. You got to forget about the Colby Covingtons, the Shavkats, the Sean Brady's.
Nightmare for him.
Nightmare.
Didn't he call out Shavkat? Did he call him out?
JDM did.
JDM, that's
Big
right.
difference.
That's right.
No, Michael Venom Page would never.
He doesn't want that Russian wrestling.
No, if you hear any wrestling, you
Yeah.
gotta get off this Russian nutsack.
Yeah.
American wrestling dominates. So if you mention wrestling him out against Michael Venom Page, he goes,
Really?
it's just not for him.
I mean, all those years, he's got to be good in the clinch on the
There
ground.
are not enough hours in the day.
Really?
What are you gonna do? You can't make up that time. Against the elite grapplers, and you can't grapple.
So
fucked.
he can't grapple.
No.
And the UFC just wants to keep him exciting.
Well, look at Alex Pereira. It's like they made the right choices to
Yeah.
get him to the title shot.
Yeah.
And now he's running with it. And then they gave him Jan, right? He got past that.
Right.
Right. So
Just don't give him those.
If they want to, they can finagle it so he can get to the title. There's a way he can get to the title shot. It's just if the UFC likes you enough. If not, oh, dude. If he has one bad outing, they're like, cool, here's Sean Brady. He's going to choke him unconscious.
Yeah. Really.
He's a character, though. He's one of my faves, too.
He's just such a character.
But the UFC just has to be very careful who they match him
He's
up with.
fought a lot of. Didn't he fight a lot of wrestlers in Bellator? No.
No, dude.
I mean, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys.
No, dude.
Douglas Lima,
Douglas Lima's a
complete fighter.
Douglas. And
Now, he
Douglas,
beat him,
Hold on,
but he lost to him.
Douglas beat him.
Yeah, but he also
and
lost.
B, Douglas Lima's thing is striking.
It is striking.
He can grapple.
Yeah.
But his thing is
So they
kickboxing.
kept him. They kept him in Bellator very safe.
And anytime they gave him like, and also Bellator grappling compared to UFC, I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, it's not. It's apples and oranges.
So, Ian Gary.
That's the
Michael
fight.
Venom.
That's the fight.
You think that's gonna? Is that?
Oh, that's what I would do, and I haven't heard any rumblings of that. I'm just, if I was in the war room, that's what I would do.
Yeah, man.
UFC has their plans, but that's a great fight. MVP's a massive name. Ian Gary needs one more win before he's in the top 3.
Yeah.
Michael Venom Page to see where they rank him, but stylistically, it's a great fight.
It's hard to fucking touch the guy's face.
I bet you Ian Gary can touch his face.
You do?
Yep.
Really? Why?
We'll
Just
see.
That good. Just that good.
He's that talented.
Long, similar body. All right.
Great fight, though.
All right. Michael Venom Page. But never going to be UFC champion.
He could. Again, you gotta pick his opponents. You cherry pick them. You gotta avoid the grapplers.
Well, what about Michael Venom Page? By the way, Leon Edwards and Michael Venom Page. That's
Yeah, man, I just said that.
That's an interesting
Well,
fight.
if he gets past Ian Gary, you could again. You can leapfrog those grapplers and
Yeah.
get them there if you want. Like Alex Pierre, we could do the Alex Pierre game plan where we just bounce around, avoid the grapplers,
Get 'em
and
right
get them
up
there.
there.
Be a great fight. 2 Brits.
But avoid the
Brits.
grapplers.
UFC's done it before.
Yep.
Yeah, he could do it. But he'd really have to rattle off some. Like he would, in order for him to do that, he would need to knock out Kevin Holland. He'd need to knock out Ian Gary. Then they're like, all right, let's get him to the title.
Yeah.
But if you're just getting decisions, no.
No.
Like if you beat Ian Gary via decision, next one's a grappler. You gotta have like big time knockouts in order because Alex Pierre was starching people,
Yeah. Starching mode.
and they're like, all right, this is the guy.
Okay, so Dustin Poirier is so good, I can't believe it.
Dustin Poirier, BSD. I wish I'd fight every weekend.
My God. It was so fucking nuts. But I was watching Benoit Saint Denis and I went down a little bit of the rabbit hole, watched some of his old fights. And as a badass as he is, I noticed one thing you can't do against Dustin Poirier, and that is swing wide like that with that power.
Can't sit in front of him.
You cannot. You can't do this because I was like,
But he
Dustin
wasn't doing that.
He's going to fire.
He wasn't
right.
doing that in the first round. Molly whopped him like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Dustin's screwed. And then St. Denis was like, oh, forget grappling. I'm just going to sit in the pocket and exchange. It's like, oh, now you're playing the Diamonds game.
Now you're playing a Diamonds game, and that perfect hook, that like picture perfect, just I was like, you're so good, so fucking good.
That was
But also
one of the best fights of the
Dustin's
year.
ability to get out of impossible grappling situations, like impossible.
he's a
shit.
black belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
People
but
sleep
I
on
mean-
Dustin. He's a black belt.
But Benoit also had been, I think, training in Hungary or where was he? Bulgaria with all those Russian, Bulgarian, just training wrestling all the time.
Doesn't matter.
But he's a wrestler too. I guess he's just as much a wrestler as he is a striker.
He's grappling. Yeah, he's a grappler. Yeah. But remember, Dustin Poirier's been doing a hot second now, man.
He's been doing it,
And he's at ATT. So St. Denis might be in Bulgaria. It ain't ATT. American Top Team's where it's at. They got savages in there.
Savages. Just a monster, dude. Look at this. Competed in BJJ at 194. So that's what he does walking around. A big 55er. Big 55er. Jesus.
That fight was so good.
It was so good. It was so good.
The French had a rough weekend. Francis knocked unconscious. St. Denis knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
And then their boy in PFL lost due to like a
Who is
paper
this?
cut.
Who is that?
What's his name? Chin? He's like the biggest prospect coming out of France in, I don't know, 100 years.
Jesus.
Let me just do the news and see.
Oh, gets knocked out and cold.
Oh, this one was
No,
weird. Not this
but
guy.
look for this was stupid.
So PFL French fighter.
But just go to the that's fine. The guy who fought last weekend.
Oh, Cedric. Oh, yo, that,
Dombe.
okay, it says
Dombe.
Dombe because his foot, his toe.
Yes.
his toe got messed up. Yeah.
Dombe's like the biggest prospect
Yeah.
forever. So he lost. Francis lost. St. Denis lost. So it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Hardy saying the biggest prospect fight in all of MMA is Dombe.
Yeah, but that was but he did. He literally said like enough, and then he was like, "No, I want to go on."
What do you mean prospect fight in MMA? The biggest prospect fight.
Prospect.
Like he's
Most talented.
He was like a killer
Freak.
kickboxer guy.
Monster.
Yeah.
He was going to sign him. He could have chose UFC or PFL.
Yeah.
He went with PFL.
Wow. More money? Pretty much, probably.
At his level, probably easier fights. You eaten alive in the UFC.
Because of wrestling. Yep. So the Sugar Sean Cheeto Vera.
What'd you
fight.
think?
I just think Sugar Sean is in a class by himself. I think he's greatness. I don't think he's good. I think he's greatness.
Yep, he proved it.
Yeah, and I
Some of those rounds, I agreed with the ref 50-44.
Yeah.
There's a 10-8 round there.
Yeah.
That knee, when Rogan said, sounded like a bat hitting a watermelon.
yeah,
He's dead on.
I mean dead on.
Whack!
And how tough is Cheeto to take all that shit? I mean, just and
One
answering
of the
back.
best chins of all time.
Oh my god!
Of
and
all time.
answering back.
His face, he looked like the mask. Remember the kid from the mask?
Yeah, I hate that. I
It's
think he
brutal.
might have. Did he fracture his orbital bone? Do we
That's
know?
what Sugar said. He thought he felt something crunch.
Oh man,
That was tough to watch.
it was tough to watch.
But then Sugar lands that great body shot with like 10 seconds left. Wow.
Yeah, that's Marlon Vera.
So here's the question, B. What do you do next with Sugar? Now he asked for Topuria in Spain,
Yeah.
or do you do that, or do you do Marab?
So
Now hold on before you answer.
Fuck, man.
Before you
me
answer,
up right now.
you're the UFC in the war room, right? I just
Yeah.
posted this, and that's my question for Chin and Casey. And you're sitting down like, all right, what's next for Sugar?
yeah,
Marab, he's an underdog, and we know what that fight's going to be about.
Sugar's an underdog.
Yes. Sugar be an underdog in that fight and the Topuria fight. But the Marab fight's his weight class, he'd be an underdog. Marab deserves it.
Just because Marab's ragdoll wrestling, just his ability to keep coming, keep coming.
Nightmare.
Not the striker that Sean is.
No,
yeah.
but big different. Well, wrestling dictates where the fight goes.
Yeah.
So Sugar's an underdog in that. Not the biggest fight, but still title fight.
Yeah.
Or Topuria, who's top 5 biggest stars. You can go over there and fight in Spain. Sugar, Topuria. Now, I'm not saying what's right. The right thing to do is Marab. Clearly, he deserves it. But if you're in the money, just as a businessman, not as a fan.
I believe in only the money game when it comes to prize fighting.
Okay.
I don't believe in anything else.
That's my point. So you're doing Sugar versus Topuria. And then also, this is why you do Sugar versus Topuria.
Yeah.
So Marab is stylistically, Sean can beat him. Sugar can beat him.
He can beat Marab.
He can beat Marab. He can figure out a way with the game plan, his coach, they can figure out a way to beat him. Regardless of that, he's still an underdog. So chance of winning aren't great, but he can beat him. So you have your top 3, maybe your biggest star in the UFC. The Marab fight's a nightmare. If we're going to extend the life of Sugar, you would have him fight Topuria. Even if he loses that one, again, he'd be an underdog in that. If
Yeah.
he loses that one, it's all gets on his weight class. He can come back and fight Marab.
Yes.
So you extend the shelf life
I
of
hear
Sugar.
you. I hear you. Here's what I always worry about with a guy like Sugar, he's really escaped for the most part injury. Damage to his head. He really has for the most part in his entire career. When you go up a weight class and you decide to fight somebody who is as rugged and hard hitting as Topuria, who is a champion, what you risk doing is taking the kind of damage just because of how powerful he is and how good he is. You risk taking damage from somebody bigger than you that can really mess with you in a lot of ways.
Right. Now
So,
here's the question. Not
yes.
what's the safe route and pussy route. We're here to make money, and it's fighting, and you're talking about guys getting hit in the head, right? So fuck you, right? Because of course we know they're gonna get hit in the head.
I'm just
Who
saying,
gives a flying fuck about that?
I'm saying,
CT
can we not go all the way
does
up?
not exist in the UFC office.
I shouldn't
We
be
don't
bringing this
give a
up.
fuck about what the fuck are you talking about? We're looking for views and money. You
we
fuck.
want to fight.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just bringing this up. I just
Could you be less entertaining during this conversation? Right, but if he were to get hit in the head by a bigger man,
I'm saying I don't want to see. You know,
I'm not asking what Brian wants. I'm saying as a business owner,
as Sugar's
a UFC
advisor.
No. As a UFC owner,
Oh, that's different. I'm saying as Sugar's advisor.
you're not his advisor. You're
Let me
you're
be
the
his
UFC
advisor.
matchmaker. What is the
Well,
move?
if I'm a match, so
All we care about is money.
if I'm a matchmaker, I got to protect my superstar. So as a matchmaker,
Explain protect.
well, in other words,
Is protect him, give him Marab?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, well, he takes less damage if he fights Marab, but
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But protect, Marab's a nightmare. So you're not protecting like
Marab's a
Marab.
nightmare. Marab's wrestling is a nightmare, but there are ways to deal with that, right? Sean's got to stand and bang with Taparia.
No, he doesn't. He can stay on the outside, use his distance.
Yeah.
He's longer.
Yeah.
A lot longer. Very smart.
Yeah.
His IQ, I think it showed that.
High IQ.
High IQ.
High IQ.
You think he's going to sit there and strike with Taparia?
well,
He's going to
yeah,
sit on the outside, be smart, use his length.
Yeah.